This is for educational purposes only. What I'm sharing here is about how the mind works, how memories and emotional patterns shape your life. This is not medical advice, and it's not a replacement for your doctor or your therapist. If you have any physical or emotional health concerns, make sure you talk to your qualified professional before making any decisions. Take what works, be smart, take care of yourself. And remember, you're not broken, you're just running a program.
If you've spent any time trying to heal your nervous system, you know the language. Regulate, titrate, shake it out, reset the vagus nerve. The body keeps the score. Maybe you've done the somatic work, the breath work, years of it, and you still don't feel finished. Today we're talking about why and what actually changes it. Robert Jean has spent over 30 years figuring out how the brain really works. He started at 15 and he never stopped. He's the creator of Eutactics and Faster EFT. He is a neuroplastician, behavioral engineer, and one of America's leading experts on stress, trauma, PTSD, and addiction. Some people call him the Einstein of the mind. He runs one of the largest free libraries on healing the mind and the body on YouTube. He was also featured in the documentary Emotion. He works with people who have tried everything else, the ones who have walked away saying nothing has ever worked for them. I'm Crystal Weens, co-host of the Robert Jean Experience. Take a moment to hit subscribe and let's get into it. Everybody says that the body keeps the score, and you say that that's a misnomer. What do they have wrong?
Yeah, well, you think about logically, and thank you for the introduction. You think about logically, why do we think the body keeps the score? There's two parts of us. There is the conscious part, which most people are aware of, and there's the unconscious part. That's the smart part about us. That's the one that encodes the internal world. It knows how to drive without you thinking about how to drive. It knows how to walk across the floor. It knows how to write your name without going back to kindergarten trying to figure out how to do that. So the smart part about us is what we're not talking about. They're talking about consciously. I have a panic attack. I feel bad. Bad things are happening. I don't know what to do with it. It's the body making me feel bad. And so therefore, what we want to do, and it's a natural part of our survival system, is to avoid the pain. And so we have a disruption, a pain, a frustration, a physical sensation, and we don't like it. So we're also blaming the messenger. Now, the body is the messenger of the unconscious mind, or I call it the intelligent idiot, the intelligent servant, it's a faithful servant. And so the brain speaks to the body and also to the mind with images, intrusive thoughts, etc., to catch our conscious attention. And we're looking at the body. I feel bad. I feel something going to happen. I feel anxious. I feel nervous. I zone out. I check out. I numb out. So we notice the problem kinesthetically, but we don't really understand why, because we're not really in alignment with the smarter part about us, which is your unconscious. So that's why they will try to solve the physical reaction. Now, with justification, the physical reaction is a metaphoric expression of unconscious resources, memories, and references. So the problem is that if you blame the messenger, you're not solving the problem.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's right. Okay. So you called the unconscious mind the intelligent idiot. Why did you do that? Can you explain that?
If you understand, the whole system of our brain and our existence is for survival. Now, Crystal, you're born in a different family environment than I was. Mm-hmm. Other people have different environments. You could be the first child and the third child, the fifth child, the 12th child. Each child has a different environment. The emotional components, or the jungle, I would say, your personalized jungle, have different components that makes us respond differently. So the intelligent idiot is going to bring in what you personally experienced, what you've heard, witnessed, felt, and it's going to take it in and it's going to organize it. Now, again, if you have an older brother who hates you and tries to kill you, he picks on you, physically or emotionally or even sexually abuse you, the brain will take it in and it'll organize it. Now there's a little component that we have to throw in, and that is conscious awareness. Because when you experience something, you may consciously notice the sounds, or you may consciously notice the smells, or you may consciously notice some visual. Now, that is the element that we do have an input and where the unconscious will record stuff. So this does angle how the brain records. So it's an intelligent idiot. So it's super smart. It knows how to organize stuff, put stuff together, and then spit it out. And it'll create panic attack, anxiety, great sports performance, love, pain, fantasy, whatever it does, it knows how to do well. But it doesn't really say panic attacks are bad. We shouldn't keep these bad experiences close, and we shouldn't internalize it because it doesn't know that it's bad. It just says, this is our environment. We're going to internalize it. We're going to use it to keep you safe and in alignment with what you captured. So it's not going to say, well, we probably shouldn't really link this to that, chocolate to love, because it doesn't exist, or a smell to danger, or a look to love. So the brain, it's smart, but it's not very practical.
Right. Can you give us an example of that?
There's lots of examples. One thing I'll say this is that the brain, how it captures moments. Now, a memory is a captured moment. I call it an imprinted value. And inside of this memory, you can have, I'll use my example. It's a good one. I travel a lot, and I hadn't traveled over 8 years because of the COVID thing, So I'm going to Hawaii, and I'm in the airport and I had a panic. I didn't know it was a panic attack. Heart pounding through my chest, is getting really tight. And I'm thinking, what's wrong with me? Am I having a heart attack? And then I said in the airport, I said, is it the smell in the airport? What is it? So here it is. And I'm talking to myself, you're okay, breathe and all this stuff. And then I get to my destination. I go, what was that? And again, I started remembering, I work with lots of people with panic attacks. I said, a panic attack. Because that's what they always say. I have this shortness in breath, my heart pounding through my chest, I feel like I'm going to die. They go to the hospital, there's nothing wrong with your heart. So I said, a panic attack. That's what it was. And then since I work on people, I work on myself, and then I started decoding it. And then I go, well, what bad things happened at the airport? And I cannot remember anything bad. No, nothing that I can recall. But I said, ask another question, said, anything intense at the airport? And there were 2 events prior to this one, before traveling, being stuck in Oklahoma, and that is they dropped you off at one gate, and you had 1 minute to get all the way to the far side of the airport. And of course, can you imagine this fat guy dragging luggage, running like he thought he was 18 years old, running track, which I'm way out of that shape. And when I get there, I'm going, oh God, I feel like I'm going to die. Now the intelligent idiot grabbed that. Now I know I wasn't going to die, but I sure felt like it, right? It happened 2 different times. So now the third time going to the airport, it is using that on me, even though I'm not running. I don't have a gate to hurry to. So that's what it does. It'll take things and put things together and create something. And logically, it doesn't make sense, but neurologically, how the brain is trying to protect you to be able to drive your car. You think about driving your car, for example. You remember the first time? I was in a white Volkswagen, and of course, in the Volkswagen, in the floor, there's 3 pedals: a brake, a clutch, an accelerator. And of course, if you don't get it right, boom, always dying, boom, always dying. But it puts these things together and creates the skill of letting out the clutch, applying the brake properly, and giving acceleration. So that puts things together very smartly. But also, if you have a mean, abusive brother, and he's punching you and he's humiliating you, and while he's doing that, kung fu fighting is playing on in the background, and your brain is focusing on kung fu fighting, and today you hate that song, and you don't even know why you hate that song. And come to find out, your brother was torturing you while the song was playing, and you were no kung fu fighter. So again, it links things together and creates programs. So that's why we call it intelligent idiot. It puts things together for survival, but logically, I'm older now. It's just a song, but why am I getting pissed off?
Right, exactly. And yeah, exactly. And no one wants a panic attack. No one wants to feel those emotions, but it is an indicator.
By the way, panic attacks are designed to keep you safe based on programming. So my brain had a program. You're going to die in an airport. You got to run through the other gate, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But that's not logical and practical, but it remembers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it creates and produces.
Yeah. So when trauma, one of the things that you say, you talk about is it's not what happened to us, then what is it?
Well, it goes back to what I was saying. Trauma is when you have an event, remember your brain is designed for survival. So to the brain, there are only experiences, good ones, and we would deem bad ones. To the brain, neither one of them are bad or good. They're just experiences. So, you're a little girl, you go to school, kindergarten, and you ride the bus home to your friend because she invited you. You go have a good time. You say, well, I better go back home. And you go home and your dad or your mom or your grandma is very upset, gets the switch and spanks you. Now you have learned, and depends on how you think it too, how you process it. Well, you may have learned that I should come home and not go to my friend's house or I'm going to get a switching. That's called a trauma, but it's also an education. Mm-hmm. So now if you have an experience, now, by the way, if you don't know who I am, I have worked with the worst traumas you could ever imagine. Drug rehabs for 10 years. In drug rehabs, we're talking about people who've been raped, who raped people, who've been murdered and resuscitated, people who murdered people who shot guns and shot other people. They saw deaths, they saw beatings, they saw all kinds of horrible experiences. They were the black sheep, the ugly child, the child that wasn't worth anything. They were sold, they were abused of all types of traumas. So all traumas are the same to the brain. Neither one of them are bad, neither one of them are good. They're just for survival. So trauma is an education, and your brain will take what happened and internalize it. So even though you had a bad experience, the experience didn't screw you up, and that's the big problem. We think it screwed us up. Gabor Mate, he says it's a wound, an injury to the brain, and it's not. It's an education. And the brain will internalize what it witnessed. So it gives meaning to it. It creates a story, creates a feeling, creates a survival system. So it's not what happened to you that gives you panic attacks, freeze, fright, etc., but rather what your brain created because of the event. So they didn't screw you up, but what your brain kept, internalized, your brain utilized, and now you think you're broken. You just had an experience. You've been educated in the world. It's not a good education. And now your brain is trying to give you panic attacks, anxiety, and fear because you've had bad experiences, not so good experiences. Now, consciously, we know it's not good. It's a bad experience. That's our consciousness. But to the unconscious, it's just an experience. We're going to internalize it. We're going to use it to keep you safe.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the difference.
Yes, exactly. And this is where we can really personalize the things that have happened to us, that we personalize it. Now we hold the grudge, and now we hold that information within us. And this is where people have a hard time letting go.
Yeah. And the reason why you think of this too now, because, I understand the mind, I understand how memories work, I understand how the brain processes and utilizes and creates and manifests. All right. So, I've written and created, they're called the Memory Manifesto, basically how memories work, the mechanics of the mind. And there's some really simple rules to understand. Everything in your mind, every memory inside of yourself is uniquely yours. That means your brain recorded, created, and internalized an event from the outside. So if you go to your memory of being beat up or abused, they're not abusing you.
Yeah.
Your recording is replaying and rehearsing, and you're reliving something your brain internalized from what did happen. Now, we're not saying it didn't happen. We know it did. Right. But what traumatizes us and causes problems is what we kept and your brain utilized and producing today. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so it's not what happened to you, but it's how our brain is learn from it, and
Right.
manifest from it.
So is there like a part of the brain, because with cleaning up memories, there's once it's cleaned up, it like, and we have like this new imprint, that's incredible, but you still have the awareness of what took place. So is it two different parts of the brain that
Well, here's the thing about brain. Memories are malleable and adjustable. Now, we'll be talking about different theory, different
right?
styles of that
Yes.
people are going to work on themselves. And so if you understand one thing, and the reason why people seemingly stay stuck or stay in alignment with a memory is because they hold the memory as a reality and a value, but also keeps them locked in. That means it becomes an identity and it becomes a lifestyle and a behavior, and it becomes who I am. Even though it's a bad experience, it impacted us, and we built our whole life around this one experience, seemingly to keep us safe, but also keep us looped in to the event and the trauma. So when I talk about this, you have to understand, when you adjust the memory, we're not creating alternative memory. We're adjusting how you internalize the external world. So that means, I don't know about you, I'm sure you have your stories. We have people in our life that were not nice. They were mean to us.
Mhm.
Now, our brain internalized that event, and it's going to keep us safe because we don't want to get it happen again, but also keeps us in a loop of it because that's the real world. So, uh, every person inside of your memory is yourself. And if you change how you internalize and hold the memory, you change your identity, you change your value, you change your operation, but you're not stupid. You learn from the experience, you'll never do that again, and it doesn't make you vulnerable, and you will not allow it to be a part of your life because you've got the t-shirt, you wrote the book, and you're out.
Right.
You know, it doesn't. But here's the bizarre thing: if people will hold on bad memories, think it keeps them safe, but in
Mhm.
reality, it keeps them locked into that pain and that
Yeah,
misery, and they keep recycling, rehearsing, and refeeling it,
that's
never
right.
getting off of it.
Yes, yes. Okay. So how does real change actually happen in the brain?
Yeah, that's a good question. The truth about updating memories is basically one thing. If you understand, the memory you hold inside your mind is usually not the original event. It is a distortion of how it's internalized. So you have an experience outside, your brain internalizes it, and it filters it and translates what happens. All right. So your memory that you currently have is your personalized version of it, based on your emotions and your feelings, and your filters distort it and give your unique spin to this. Right. So it's internalized. So and the brain does it all the time anyway. It always updates memories. It's plastic. It's neuroplastic. It's adjustable. And most likely the memory you have today and you recall it is not the original memory. By the mere act of visiting the memory, and the reason why you visit will adjust the memory. Say, for example, here's a great example. Let's say you had a boyfriend when you're in high school and you really loved him. You had great feelings and emotions with him. You really like this guy. He's really amazing. Now, this is your real memory of him. When you talk to your girlfriends, you talk to your friends, you talk about him, you're going to have a really good experience. So this is a real memory. And the memory you use is really embellished by each time you visit and why you visit. You're going to visit the memory because you feel love and you remember him, and it actually expands and makes it stronger. So that's how memories are. Now that you do the same with the bad memories too. So now, next thing you hear, one of your friends said, "Oh, by the way, isn't Jack or Joe or whoever this guy is, isn't he your boyfriend?" She said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, I saw him kissing Susan the other day." Not
Ooh.
only did I see him kiss Susan, but he's kissing Susan's sister and her brother too.
Okay.
Now,
Oh,
all of a sudden, your
yeah,
memory is now being adjusted
yeah. Big time.
and it's being renewed. And now, and then they show you videos and pictures, holding hands and walking, going to the park.
That's it.
All of a sudden, your memory
Yeah.
about him has been shifted from good to bad.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do people do that with bad memories? The exact same way. They
Exactly.
go to a bad memory and it's really bad. Well, first of all, it may not be bad. It may be normal for you, you know? You're used to being beat up and bullied. And then you go to a group and they introduce you, say, by the way, that is abuse. You hear other people's story. Then you go back, you say, I was abused. Before you just thought it was just normal. That's how what brothers and sisters do, right? Then
Yes.
you start introducing new information into the memory, and then you ask really intelligent questions, you know, like, what did I do wrong? Why would they do that to me? What happens if they do it again? Will no one love me and not like me because of what my brother or my sister did? So now you're adjusting the memories. Now, by the way, this compounds the memory and make it worse. And some of the people that I've had the most opportunity and challenge are the people who spend years in therapy, adding more,
Yes.
dumping onto a memory. Now your whole identity is messed up by dumping on a memory. So that's how the memories are adjusted. Now, by the way, if you take a bad memory and you make it worse, guess what you have? A really not so good lifestyle. If you take a good memory and make it bad, which some people are really good at, they screw up their good memories, and then they got a really bad life. So this is how memories naturally do evolve. There are certain steps that must occur in order to update and change a memory. And what I do is I help people go to their worst memories and turn it into their best memories, to where it was so grateful. I learned, I became a better person. They're not doing this to me anymore, and I'm free. I worked with a woman just the other day, and this is very typical. All right, so first of all, she can't stand around being her parents. She thinks everybody can read how she feels and all this stuff. So she feels like a real victim of her parents, a victim of her son, a victim of her daughter. But there's a common theme amongst all these stories, and that's herself. So we started working on how she feels and presumes and imagines her parents, because she thinks her parents don't like her. Right. And all we did was we work on her feelings about how she internalized and represent her mother and her father. And it's really big work, big emotional work. And by the time we're done, and I just recently did a session with her, and she goes, it's a miracle. They're acting so much different. Our relationship has completely changed. They didn't change. Right. Who changed? How she acted, how she felt, how she operated with them, which also makes them respond differently. Right. So what we did is we let go of her hurt, her pain, her judgment, her criticisms of them, which is only removing how she represents people outside, but also how she represents herself inside. Yeah. So therefore, the relationship, as she said, I can't believe this, it's a miracle. Right. And the miracle really happened inside of her own head. Like I always say, it's like, I go back to a common theme story I tell. Woman calls me up, says, I'm going through a divorce. I need to know what to do with him. I said, what do you mean do with him? Is he still alive? You help me bury the body? What? She said, no, we've been married for 20 years or 30 years, however long it was. He's an alcoholic, and I just don't know what to do with him. So basically she's in a place that she wanted to divorce or something. I said, that's fine. Do you do couple counseling? I said, yes, of course I do. But this is how I do it. I do it different. I want you to come and see me, write a list of every bad thing he's ever done, everything you hate about him, everything you don't like, every memory, every reference you can think of, all about him and how bad you feel about him, and have him do the same. But do not share your list between you. It's going to be another fight, right? Because, they're always pointing at the other person. You made me feel bad. Yeah. So she comes in, I work on her for 2 hours, clean up memories and all this stuff. And she goes, well, I still don't know what to do with him. I feel like I waste my time. I said, I understand. I'm getting ready to see him, and then I'll see you next week. We'll discover more. So she leaves. I go out to get him, and he wasn't there. And I went out there 15 minutes later. He wasn't there. 30 minutes, he wasn't there, so he didn't show up. The following week, she shows up. First thing she said, oh, my God, he completely changed. What changed? One, how she projects upon him with her own emotional hurts and pains, her memory references. And two, when you walk into the home, every time you walk in the home, you kick the dog. Mm-hmm. The dog eventually figures out it's better to be drinking beer with my buddies than be around when my wife comes home. And that means her attitude about him shifted. Therefore, the relationship shifted too. Mm-hmm. So there's two elements of this, and this is how memories are updated. The problem is we hold on to memories as actual facts, and they're just programmings. And so in order to update a memory, to change a memory, is introducing new things into the memory to allow the memory to shift and adjust the many fractions or elements or pieces in the memory. And of course, memories have many pieces and elements based on the brain's holdings. So that's how memories are updated.
Yeah, well said. Among many of the modalities, they talk about tremors, TRE, the
Yeah.
shaking. So to release the trauma, can you talk a little bit about the shaking? Does it actually release trauma?
Well, here's the thing about either TRE, somatic work, even tapping. There's a lot of exercises that they will teach to basically seemingly calm the body or to release the trauma. Now, is trauma really in the body? Again, that's a misnomer. It's not in the body, but we notice our physical reactions in the body. Now, again, we talked about earlier, where does it come from? The body is a speaker attached to the stereo. The stereo is your memory and your brain utilizing what it captured. So, they give you show these videos where a bear or a deer or
Right.
a trauma, and then they will seemingly shake it off.
Yeah.
And of course, we're translating the meaning of that. Now, if a deer or a bear had the same trauma we have experienced, shaking off doesn't release the trauma. It may change how they physically feel now, but the traumatic or the education is still in the brain. That means now they're going to jump faster and move quicker when they see you arrive because you tried to hurt them. So they're trying to say, if you go, and I call it the shake a leg system, which basically you try to create a shaking in your body and thinking that it will release the trauma.
Mm-hmm.
It may make you feel better, or you may spend 30 minutes shaking and say, well, that was a great experience. Right. But does it actually change the memory? Now, there's key points. There's key points that you can adjust the memory. And there's a real science to updating memory. So, you're stressed out and you feel really bad, and you're going to roll your ears and you're going to sing happy birthday. Now, does that release the trauma? It does divert your attention away from how you feel. Because remember, the body is an innocent servant. It expresses what the mind holds. You consciously notice the body and you want to feel better. Does it mean you feel better when you do it? It could, as long as you come out of the trance of the problem that the body is expressing. So it's like we have a natural innate system within us. I'm stressed, I feel bad, and I want to get away from this. So you're going to come over here and you're going to drink something, or you're going to smoke something, or you're going to do some physical exercise, you're going to watch a video.
Mm-hmm.
It pulls you out and away, and now you're diverting your attention away from whatever the body is feeling, and you're trying to create a new state, a new good feeling. Does that change memory? Not necessarily. There is a real science to it. So here it is. You feel bad. So Crystal puts on her music and she dances with the fairies. Now, while she's dancing with the fairies, she feels good. All right.
Huh?
And so did you change memory? You change states. You change feelings.
Yes.
You change. It's like it's the body. I mean, the body is an innocent servant. The brain triggers the body to respond consciously. I don't like this, and then you're going to do the shake a leg system.
Right. Okay. But I do, like, just for reference here, I actually do go back to the memory. I dance and then
See, you're adding the magic that makes it work, which you learned from me. Most
Yes.
people don't.
Exactly.
It's basically they call it. They call it a pattern interrupt. You're feeling bad, you interrupt the pattern. You go over here and you drink something, you feel better, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's what most systems work. Now, I listen to Irene Lyons, and she's been doing this for 15 years. She still has to do her regulations, her physical regulations. She's still doing that. She's been doing this for 15 years.
Yeah.
All right. So she still thinks, and most people do,
Yes.
it's the body doing it to me. My body is holding the trauma. It doesn't hold the trauma. It expresses the trauma. Where's the trauma at? It's in the brain. The brain creates it, builds a program to stay alive and to stay safe, which is a learning, not a damage.
Yes. Yeah.
And therefore, it's going to speak through the body. To save you a lot of time is to go to the memory. Now, there's a lot of people who don't have recall of the memory.
Mm-hmm.
But if you incorporate and speak to and work with the brain to tell it to release it, adjust it, reveal it, let's shift it. There is a key to doing this. There's a real scientific way approach to really update memories. Now, you can do all of those things. You can do any of those things, and you can change memory if you do all the pieces. And it's the pieces that updates memory. Now, the thing is, if you're going to do the shake a leg program, you're going to be shaking a lot to try to get it all done.
Yes. Yeah.
And like somatic work, same thing as somatic work. Both of them are somatic. They're physical, trying to address them. Right. And of course, you know, they call it also, I know you're probably going to ask a question about the vagus nerve.
Yeah.
Right? So the vagus nerve is doing the same thing. So now they're saying it's the vagus nerve has a disruption. There's something wrong with the vagus nerve. Again, they're pointing at the body. Now, if you understand what the vagus nerve is, basically it's a system that expresses and communicates from the mind to the body, from the body to the mind. It's an information highway. So the vagus nerve will create love, it'll create joy, it'll create peacefulness, and it'll also express fear, trauma, worry, etc. So it's just an information highway. Again, they're still blaming the physical reaction, not the cause.
Yes. We'll get onto we'll talk about the vagus nerve in a moment, but I want to go back to the deer, okay? The animal kingdom, because here I'm still thinking about the deer, the gazelle. There she is, she's shaking. She was just chased, okay? She lays down, she starts shaking. How do animals, how do they reprogram their body? Because it seems like it is very natural. Like
Well, again, you're saying you're calling the body the problem.
Okay, but the body
they exposed. Yeah, they're shaking because they got scared, and now they're shaking because they need to calm down. So they're just they're shaking it off. But it doesn't mean the event has changed. Right. It means that they had a traumatic experience with a guy with a gun or an arrow, right. And now they're going to run and hide. But they also remember and consciously record. People may want to shoot me with a gun or want to shoot me with an arrow. So it's still a learning, but again, it's like you can't stay tense all the time. Now, some people's brain will keep them tense all the time because in their brain, they've been programmed by their culture and experiences. Deer in the wild are used to hunters hunting them and lions hunting them. So they're like super skittish. Why is that? Because that's your environment. But you take a deer that's been raised on a farm and raised by kids and pets and dogs and all of them, they're just all family. They're not skittish like that.
Yeah, that's right. It's, and this is actually reminding me of being yelled at, because the moment when you're a kid and you're being yelled at, you grow up, you're an adult and someone yells at you, you're going to be there, you're going to be shaking there in your chair.
Right back in that trauma. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So that's very similar to what the deer is experiencing. So
it's an education. And they said, I'm glad that's over. But they don't forget. They learn. Yeah. And again, when they see the deer with black hair and big earrings on, they go, oh, shit.
Stop it.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah. Oh, they know. Oh, she's going to feed me.
That's the ones that are at the petting zoo, right?
Well, I create the friends, so I feed the crows and All right, so back to the vagus nerve. Recently I was scrolling through my Instagram and there was someone that created a device for the vagus nerve, and what it does is you put it on your vagus nerve, it starts to relax you, and then it even gives you an orgasm of your brain in your brain.
Oh, really?
And yeah, so is
that really true though?
I don't know. I haven't tried it, and I don't really need the device because I know better. But for for the vagus nerves are like resets, like, because the resets are everywhere. There's tools now available. Do they work?
They could. They could. Only if they're doing it in a precise way to updating and changing why. Most people who are in the vagus nerve, the somatic work, want to calm the body. So their focus is changing the body, shifting how they feel. That will not change memory.
Mm-hmm.
The body is an autoresponder to internal representations in the brain. So there are some key points to updating memory, and they're precise points.
But they're not updating memory. They're putting on a device and
Yeah,
they're starting to relax your vagus nerve.
Yeah, but see, there's no difference in doing that than drinking a bottle of Jack Daniels or
Okay.
or eating a nice, delicious cake or getting the satisfaction of cleaning the house.
Right.
So again, it's really becomes an escapism, escaping the cause. The cause, because the body's reaction are like little fires, little upsetting points. And you notice the fire and you want to go put it out by you doing some exercise, right? Mm-hmm. Which it does it seemingly puts the fire out currently. I mean, basically you're shifting your state of being, shifting how you feel, diverting your attention, put out the anxiety, whatever this is. But it still doesn't put it doesn't change the guy with the matches in his hand who's starting all the fires in your body. Because again, 15 years of doing somatic work, shake a leg syndrome, TRE, beating furniture, primal screaming, rebirthing therapies. If they're not changing memories, you're just changing states. And that's, of course, working drug rehab. And I asked them, I asked them several questions. I said, "Are you addicted?" They go, "Yeah." I said, why do you use drugs? Because they're using drugs. Why do you use drugs? He said, "I just want to feel better. I don't like how I think. I'm trying to quiet my mind. I'm trying to feel better. I want to escape what's going on in my head." So there's no difference than someone using drugs, but usually people use drugs. Some people who are extremely ill, they've had some pretty bad experiences. And their experiences are written on the cells of their brain, and it makes it feel real in the body. And so you'll be talking about this and forever, and you'll be shaking your leg, shaking your body. You'll be doing somatic practices, and you will feel better because there could be a colliding, what we call a bad good collapse, could be, if you continue. But if it's still going on after 15 years, go to where the guy with the matches in his hand, go with the memories and address the memories. And you know what? When I say that, they say, "No, thank you. I don't want to go there." So therefore they're saying, "I'm going to keep it. It's my reality. It's my value." And it's, and then they'll teach classes, teaching people how to stay with it, endure it, and handle it, not change it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, I guess, similar to Irene Lyon's work. Not that I want to, I don't want to badmouth her in any way.
Well, not, but she's normal. Yeah. She's like everyone else. It's like anybody else. So only reason why I started watching her, I go, "Well, how did she do it?" Well, she clearly says, "You can't reset. You just have to live with it." And I say, "Well, you can reset."
Yeah. Yeah. You can completely change the imprint.
Yeah. Change the memory, change the reference. Yeah. And again, remember, this is what most therapies out there in the world is. They don't have the skill and they don't have the understanding. Right. You can change memory, literally change a memory where it doesn't play the same, doesn't look the same, and you don't act the same. Because it's almost like it's a taboo thing. Don't change my bad memories, for who will I be? For fear of I could get hurt again. And it's guaranteed you'll get hurt again because your brain is recycling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, can you share a story on that one? How the brain recycles it?
Oh, yeah. Well, look at your life. Look at my life.
Stop it. I know we could go into my life.
We both do it. Everybody does. So basically, the brain creates what you call imprints. Now, we've been taught by the psychological community that you're imprinted the first 7 years of your life. That's not true. You're imprinted all your life, and imprints are updatable, changeable, and adjustable. So basically, what is an imprint? An imprint is a moment in time, an experience that your brain captures and utilize it as a fact of life. So that becomes what you call the modus operandi. This is how I am. This is my life. This is how I do it. So this imprint is now being utilized everywhere you go. Like I work with thousands of people, real problems. And I say, what's going on today? What are you experiencing today? And I get the model. Basically, I'll use John. John is a good guy, and today he's divorced his wife. He got fired from his job. He was in the military. I mean, he's a good guy, and he's got pathways to his house, into his house is junk everywhere, stacks of stuff, pathways to his kitchen, to his bathroom, because all the stuff he accumulated because he didn't want to let go of stuff. So now so here it is. So I look at John's life. I said, this is a repeating pattern. This is an imprint of value. I said, okay, John, tell me about your life growing up. He said, well, I had a good life until mom and dad divorced. All right. Mom and dad divorced. And so mom and dad divorced. And my sister went with my mom and I went with my dad. But my dad didn't take care of me. He let his friends take care of me. So he's there with his dad's friends. He doesn't know anybody and he feels all alone. He doesn't have his sister. He doesn't have his mom. She doesn't even have her dad as his dad. So here it is. His life imprint is that I'm all alone, all by myself, nothing, loneliness. And of course, again, so he grew up in this environment that he has nobody and nothing. And guess what he has today? Nobody and nothing. Right? So he uses his coping skills. He could use porn. He could use alcohol. He can use collecting junk. He could use self-pity. He can go to AA or church to still remind him of his misery. So here it is. And then, some of the biggest emotional components, his anger towards his mother for divorcing, his anger towards her dad for divorcing, and he's married a good woman. He's still depressed. He's still living that lifestyle of a depressed little kid. Never outgrew it. So this is a repeating emotional pattern. Now, if you look at your life, I have, when I do sessions, and I'll have you done it too, and you can see, I say, create a peace list. That's every bad event you've ever experienced from school, work, home, siblings, sexual experiences, love experiences, school experiences. And then when you do that, you're going to say, it's the same feelings all the way through. I've been repeating the same patterns.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And you've seen that, right? I've seen it.
Oh, yeah. I see it clearly.
And sometimes the patterns we have them. We actually don't know where they came from because there's what you call phantom memories or buried memories. And sometimes the memory becomes who I am, so therefore it's not a problem. But it creates problems,
Right. Well, when we find the problem, though, like if this is a problem, then if you want to resolve the problem, you're going to go and find the phantom memory.
If you know how.
You know how.
Are you saying that because you've been trained, you know how to do that? Most people don't.
Right.
It's a mystery. There's something inside me, common things. There's something inside me broken. There's something inside me wrong. There's something inside me. They don't love me. They don't like me. I'm guilty. It's my fault. I don't deserve to be here. No one loves me are all common imprinted values that we learn growing up as children. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, John's a typical story. He's repeating the cycle and it becomes a part of his system. I too, working on myself, because I noticed that in my life, I've picked some really good partners, but the partners are all the same style, different ways, except for one. And I go, where did this pattern come from? And of course, if I would say the pattern, starts out good, they love me, amazing and wonderful, and then they switch on you. They talk bad about you. Everything you do is wrong. At first, it's almost like in my position, I'm in a very unique position as a presenter. As I'm up front, I share and I help people. Yeah. But also, I have come from a really rough life, a rough childhood, and I've worked through a lot of stuff. But some things you don't see because there's so much a part of you. Right. And it's a part of your value system because you didn't know. But, after this last one, which was really the best of the worst that you could ever imagine, and I could see the pattern. And the weird thing is, I saw red flags, but everything's going to be okay. So I'm the positive guy. They're going to work through it.
Yeah.
They're studying my stuff. They're applying it. So work.
Right. Yes,
But
that's how I think too.
yeah, but I mean, I'm a positive. But in
Yeah.
reality, it wasn't happening. In reality, they were corrupting everyone who loved me, everyone who liked me, my siblings, my students, my people. And they were all, she was doing this from behind my back, and I didn't know any of this was happening. And I go, why are people disappearing? I didn't do anything wrong with her. I just take off running when it gets big, you know? So then I started backing up and said, where did I learn this from? Where did I go from? And come to find out, I go to unknown memories. I could feel and know something was there. And I started working on it and addressing my brain to the unknown memories. And come to find out, because my mother was 15 when she gave birth to me. She lived with her mother, and her grandma raised us in the early parts of the years. And also, grandma was our savior because, by the time my mother was 19, she had 4 kids. But I had my aunt, who was the youngest one, was only 4 years older. She's like my big sister. And she was nice in front of people. But when she and I, she was mean. And of course, the last one, and they teamed up together, and she's super sweet in front of my face, but she's talking bad about me behind my back. And I go, that's it. I figured it out. Now, it's not easy because I had to tap on myself. My mind started giving me memories of my childhood, even being abused sexually. And when I was 8, I say abused. She was 12 and I was 8. So is that abuse? I don't know what it is, but it wasn't good. It really messed up my head as a kid. Yeah. So again, I could see all that now, but back then, some of these things were like, something's there, but I don't know what it is. And then when you start working on it, you start, the veil starts to drop. You go, and some of these things, you didn't have conscious memory of it. It was tucked away.
Right. Yeah.
And then you start working through it and go, I've got the tattoo, the t-shirt, and wrote the book. I'm out of here.
Yeah. But
there's no judgment against these because they have their own system. They're coming from the same system, but a different family and different program. Like Crystal would say, I'm using it as an example. So I come from a dysfunctional family. And I say, you didn't come from a dysfunctional family. Your family functioned. It functioned so well, you left home, you found another one just like it.
Right.
Or you created it.
Yes.
Because these are what you call survival jungles that we learn from.
Yeah, exactly. So relationships really truly are a gift because they do show us. They show us, they reflect back to us our stuff.
They stir up our inner world.
Oh yeah, they do.
and again, we pick from what we're familiar with. We pick what we know. I mean, you think about it, you got to shuffle through a lot of good people to find the perfect one that's going to make you feel like crap that you've always known your whole life.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even want to address that one.
Well, you're working through your stuff too, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, what's really good, as we're talking about different modalities, recently I was scrolling on Instagram again. So, okay, it's not an addiction here, or maybe it is, I don't know. But I was scrolling through Instagram and I found someone who had done many different modalities, but she was talking about faster EFT and how it was working for her. And she's an influencer, and she was telling people that was the tool that actually worked for her.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to hear that other people are realizing there is something about this tool. This is what helped me.
Yeah, and it is now. By the way, it's somatic work. It's neuroplasticity. It is updating memories. It's memory reconsolidation. But the nice thing is you don't have to shake for 30 minutes.
Right. Or 15 years.
And get one change. Right. Or continue doing it because you can logically tell the group here, you've changed so much.
Oh gosh. I'm a different person. Yes. Yeah. And I'm still changing and attracting different people. My friend group.
Yeah. You're addressing different areas of your life.
All of them. I want all of them. I don't want the same.
Me too.
I don't want the same shit, different pile.
Yeah, same shit, different name, shoes,
Yes, exactly.
hair color.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah.
So relationships, like you said earlier, relationships is our number one trainer in value. Every problem you can think of are created based on relationships. Every problem you can think of. We learned our identity, we learned our values, we learned what we like to eat, what we hate to eat, all kinds of stuff. Of course, with the system I created, is you can change your pain. Your pain can completely go away. I mean, we hadn't got to that part. We will do that later, but there's a lot of people with severe illnesses, chronic. The woman you're talking about, her name's Amy. Physical illnesses, big time. Now they're gone. Right. So this, and by the way, I sent her an email. She said she's interested in doing a podcast with us. So we'll see what
Oh,
happens.
great.
Yeah.
I like her. Good. All right. So the other okay, where do I go with this? Okay, so polyvagal theory, is that real science?
Yeah, even the scientists say it's not. It's a again, like I mentioned earlier, polyvagal theory is a theory, and again, they do see the physical reaction, and they're going to try to calm the physical body, and they're saying that the vagal nerve is acting up, it's broken, there's something wrong with it, it's expressing things. So we want to calm the vagal nerve. Basically, you could do the same thing with. I mean, you feel bad, you notice you feel bad, and then you do something to get rid of the bad feeling. Like I mentioned earlier, you want to change your physical state. It doesn't necessarily change what created the bad state in the first place. And again, what created the state, the reason why you need to monitor and regulate your physical reaction is because most likely you've had some pretty good traumas. You've got some bad internal processing, fear mongering, worrying. You've been a victim, you've been victimized, bad things that happened to you. You've gone through a mean divorce. You had a mean brother, mom, dad, brother, sister, aunt, uncle. You've experienced things. You're hypersensitive. You're being controlled and manipulated by the outside world. So they're saying, well, it's the vagal nerve. That's what's wrong with it. You need to calm it. Now, that doesn't mean memories can't shift. It could be like the fire is less, but the fire is there. There could be some collapsing.
Okay.
But I will say this too, because again, the brain has a natural system of dealing with things. Basically, I feel bad and I go over here. So you feel bad and you go over here to drinking something or eating something or exercising something. Eventually, the more bad you have and you keep running to the same thing, the bad begins to be the problem that you used to use as a solution. So now this becomes a weight issue. This becomes an addiction problem. This becomes you're allergic to it now. You can't go to it, and then your world starts getting smaller, smaller, and smaller. So the key to the vagal nerve theory is, I forgot what the guy named Gupta. He said it's not true. It's not true, and even the science shows it's not true. Remember, if you have a belief system, and you're getting all the resources from your own buddies, from your own group, and you're using that as a resource, the reason why it works, it's a phantom. It's not really there. But to say this, if you are using vagal exercises to calm yourself, there's a benefit of calming yourself. Nothing wrong with that. You need to calm yourself. But if you take the calm and you go to the memory and update the cause, which most people don't know what the cause is, they probably do, but they won't get close to it because they don't know how to deal with it. So,
yeah. And really, it's part of your system. It's not you're not just tapping this. So there's also like the body tapping or moving around. There's different somatic pieces that you've added into your system, but it just organizes it so perfectly. I can't tell you how I went from training in NLP and then EFT. I took all these different systems and then I go to your system. I'm like, oh, this is like everything put together in one.
And it's practical and it's logical.
Yes.
And it's you can replicate it, and it's not taking a long time.
Yes.
A lot. It's you don't want to spend all your life in therapy, you know?
No, no, I know. There's so many people, 15 years, 20 years. I've
Mhm.
been working on the same problem, and the belief system that and identity that they've built
Mhm.
from the
Yeah,
therapy. And like you were saying before, those you have to now work with the therapy that they or like what they learned in therapy as well, because they
yeah,
built an identity based on
yeah,
a label or an experience that they had.
yeah. Now there is a science to updating memory. It's a bad good collapse. It's introducing new stuff into it to be able to shift it. But there is, like I said, the brain captures memories. And, you know, I call a process I call is defractionation. It's an operating system with a defrac in the middle of it. The defrac is a pattern interrupt, but it fits within the defractionation process. It means you have a problem, you know the problem, you identify the problem, you know it's there, and then you come in, out, in, out, in, out, update, update, rewrite, update, and then you have a total different memory when you're done.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And for those listening and you're thinking, okay, you're trying to piece everything that we've been talking about together, Robert has a free course.
Mm.
Enroll in the free course. You will see, you will get the step by step, you'll get the
Mm.
understanding of what we're talking about in the course.
Yeah. Another thing, if you like what I have to say here, drop where you are. What country you're from? What town are you from? What have you tried? I mean, a lot of
Right?
people have tried so many processes. Count how many different ones and put your number in there. You know,
Yeah.
we've had a lot of people who have come to my system who tried everything they said. Nothing worked, but this did. And the reason why it works is because it's mechanics. It's understanding what, where, why, and how.
Mhm.
And also, we have a great community who work together, who help you shift and change how you internally represent things. So, yeah, it is it's a clean system. It's top shelf.
Yeah, it is. All right. The other thing that I often hear is you have to feel it to heal it. And I don't know where this came from. I know Louise Hay, like she
Yeah,
spoke about that a lot in her book. So
right,
not sure
right.
where it came from, but is there truth to it?
It's half truth or one fifth truth.
A one-fifth. Okay.
One-fifth. Because again, they're going to memories or feelings. They're going to feelings as a reference. And so there are also what we call the people, you know, we talk about fighting, you know, you fight, you take off running, or you freeze. Now the feeling is like fighting or flighting. The freeze one, a lot of people says, well, I have problems, but I have no feelings with it. I have no emotions with it. They do, but they don't, and they don't have a reference to why they have problems. So there's a lot of what we call it the numb and dumb, or you check out, you freeze fright, you know, or yeah. So again, there's a functional freeze, they will call it. And so the difference between that is is we're trained. This is a normal survival system. We're trained to shut up, be quiet, stand there, listen to it, take the beating, take the yelling, and do nothing. And then you sometimes you check out, you freeze, you go
Mhm.
numb and dumb. So then when it's all over, you don't remember what happened, but that impact, what happened, does show up in your life. So there is the freeze, the check out, numb out, and we're conditioned to keep your mouth shut and be quiet and be a good girl or a good little boy.
Mhm.
You know, of course, a lot of women, I mean, some men too, but a lot of women have thyroid issues, and the thyroid represents I can't say what I want to say, I can't do what I want to do because my culture has put a hand on my head and don't let me move forward. So this happens a lot in women as well as men. I see a lot in women. I say majority of the people that I help are women. I say 60% women, 40% men. And which is really high for men because most systems out there are a little bit out there in woo-woo land and people like
Right.
something practical, you know.
Right. And men tend to gravitate, the masculine tends to gravitate to something more practical.
I mean, women do too. I mean, a lot of these women. I mean, you're one of them. A lot of women
Yeah.
out there in the fairyland stuff, and it's fine,
Yeah.
but it doesn't change the problem. You know, they go and they
Yeah.
try to do their stuff. It's like they come to me, they're sick, they're sick and they have chronic diseases, chronic illness, and all this thing, and it's all gone, right? And then they leave the system. They go, Robert, you should try this energy stuff. It really works. That's after they leave, after I did all the work and cleaned it up.
Right. Oh gosh.
I think it's so funny, but yeah, I
Right.
say, oh well, at least I helped you out, you know.
Right.
But
Yeah.
you can, but see, again, whatever your belief system is fine. It's no judgment on it. But I will say this: changes are in the grunt work. If you don't do the grunt work, you don't get changes.
Right.
So when you have somebody who has feelings and you can address feelings, memories do show up. There are people who don't have the feelings. They feel the feeling of no feeling, which is a feeling of nothingness, which is also what we call a block or a wall that they're afraid to go past because of what did happen.
Mhm.
And a lot of people have had, early childhood traumas, car accidents, surgeries. They go numb and dumb. They wake up. It's a different world.
Yeah.
And they
Exactly.
don't remember. It's like a little kid. A little kid fall down and get hurt. They shake it off. They get up playing and running again the next minute.
Right. But I'm gonna say it because I've tested this, feeling it to heal it, and I could I remember this one memory of Whitney Houston. It was a song, I Will Always
Oh, yeah.
Love You, because I'm such a romantic. And so there's something about that song. And so I tried to feel it. I would just cry and cry and cry. And I could just cry for days. It doesn't do nothing for me. But as soon as I started using your process, it started changing it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work for me to just sit there and constantly feel it. I'll just continue crying for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Because again, you have to go to what created the cry.
Hmm.
And that is references.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think you and I work on that, did we?
I think we touched on it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think we did. But I think we probably talked about it outside of session.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to go to cause. Now, here's another thing too. If you have no feelings and you have visual memories, when you see it internally and they say, well, it doesn't bother me. I don't feel anything. I said, well, look at the visual memory. What do you see in the memory? Is it a positive memory or is it a negative memory? Look at your faces. Look at the actions, and you're going to find emotions there.
Yes, actually, it's coming back to me. Yes, when you did work on it with me, and you did bring me to certain faces. That's what made the changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so this is how the brain works. And of course, auditory memory, sounds, what people say, also creates reactions in the body. You got to change the words. Some people, there's a crossover with words or language and kinesthetics and images at the same time. All of these have to be addressed internally to create a shift. And by the way, when you do this, you're updating the memory. You're updating and shifting how it's internalized and represented.
Yeah.
And by the way, when you do this, we're doing it manually, but the unconscious does. You do the steps, the brain finishes it, each step, which means the key to changing, one, intention. What do you intend to do? Two, go in, pick something, notice something, identify it. Three, come away, change your state, feel good, go back and check. Going back and check, this is when the neurology will shift and change. The brain will shift it and make it differently. And then you're going to notice what's next. There's many pieces, many fractions in the mind that creates problems. This is the system of memory reconsolidation. If you do it this way, every time you always get a change. If you notice in your body, you feel really bad and you go to feel good, and you're going to feel good, you're escaping the bad to feel good. No neurological shift will happen. You'll just feel better. It's no different than you go clean the kitchen and feel good about the kitchen. It's no different than drinking a bottle of Jack Daniels. You're drunk, you feel better. Or you fall in love and you fall into the cheesecake and you're licking the pan. You feel better. You may beat yourself up afterwards, But these are the elements that make a memory shift to change, as I just said it. This is my system. This is the Robert Gene effect.
That's right. So walk us through what you actually do. Walk us through it again.
Well, the elements that create a shift, there has to be, first of all, intention. What is your intention to do? If your intention is just to feel better, you can feel better. But it doesn't mean it's changing memory. Your intention is to update, change the memory reference. Your intention is to update what you hold. Then you go into the memory. You go into there and you pick something, identify something, a smell, a taste, a feeling, a word, an expression, an image, something. You pick it. That means you aim it. And then you come out of it and you don't think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can do a TRE, but it's going to take too long. Don't do that one. You don't want to spend a TRE it's called shake a leg program.
Yeah.
Right, so that's going to take too long.
Yeah.
All right. You can do a little somatic practice. I use tapping. Tapping is super fast. It's a somatic. Feel your fingers. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Deep breath. Peace. Go to happy memory, and then you change your state. You feel good, and then this feel good. When you go back and you check the memory, this is when the brain will shift and change internalization. Mm-hmm. That is the key to updating memory.
That's right. So what do you do when it doesn't seem to change?
If it doesn't seem to change, you're missing a piece.
Okay.
One piece, and most likely it's not fine-tuning an aspect or a problem. It's the piece. And secondly, when you come out in a way, you got to get out of that memory trance, because there's a hypnotic state. Yes, get out, come back to normal and do your tapping, do your whatever it is. You can primal scream, beat the furniture, as long as you feel good. If you don't feel good, that's not going to change anything.
Right. Well, I think there's a key to something that you just said, which is it's a trance. And so like, even when we're working on ourselves, this is why I love working with a practitioner, because what happens is I can be in the trance and then I can go back to the memory and it's like, did I shift something? Like, because did something shift?
Yeah, and it didn't do it because we did it. What we did created the brain to do it.
Yes. Yeah. So how long and how do you know when a memory is done?
When the memory is done is when the memory is a positive experience. It has been updated to where it's something you'd want to have instead. Remember, memories are designed to produce. Memories are designed to keep you in alignment with. Memories are instruction on how to survive. Now, when you change and adjust the memory, you update the memory where there's smiles. We call it the smiles. You got a really positive memory. Now you told your brain, I don't want this, I want this instead. Now your brain has learned a new way of behaving, acting, and performing. Mm-hmm. You're updating the survival system.
Yeah, so until everything is smiles.
Yeah, now again, like I come from the EFT model of the world, and even the somatic work. You do it until you feel better.
Yeah.
You're not done. You still got the problem. So this is top shelf, deep neurological shifts and changes.
Yeah, definitely. So then what happens though if everyone is smiling, because there's certain people that live in fairyland and can make it look so amazing. So a memory changes, everyone is smiling, but what if it's like covered up?
Well, that's a point that is a good point. You have a bad memory and you paint a pretty picture.
Yes.
And you go to the pretty picture, but the bad memory is still there.
Okay, so the bad memory is still there.
Yeah, you didn't change it.
Right.
So you're just gonna, and this is what, be positive, be positive, be positive. Well, the negatives is sitting inside your head.
Exactly.
We're not doing that. We're not creating alternative reality. We're addressing internal reality. Because again, when the good dog and a bad dog meet, guess which one wins?
The bad dog.
The one who has the most resources. But if you change this and you adjusted this and it's positive, and you have a proper way of coping and managing events, when something bad happens, you have skill. You don't even internalize it. You don't even deal with it. You don't even take it home and sleep with it.
That's right. Yeah.
But if inside of you, you have lots of resources of feeling like crap, blaming yourself, you're guilty, you're a bad person, it's all your fault, and blah, blah, blah. And you create the pretty picture, but when life hits you in the face, you're going to go to whichever is the best scoping skill internalized.
Yeah.
If it's the bad one, you'll feel bad forever.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Unless you update it.
Right. But isn't it the bad experiences that have usually a little bit more power? Like the bad dog
Yeah.
that, because it is like it's pain.
Yeah. Because remember, the brain is designed for survival. The
Yeah.
pain drives you more than the positive. Unless you dissipate the pain, where it's almost there or not there, the positive will, you'll make wiser decisions, you'll be happier. I started doing this work in 1999, working on people. And I had people come in and they're depressed. I go, I don't even know what depression is. How do you know you're depressed? Well, I just feel bad. And I go, do you have any good reasons why you should be depressed? They said, oh, yeah, lots of reasons. I said, do you have any positive memories? He goes, well, yeah, I think there's got to be something in here. So in their mind, they keep all the negative close. They practice it every day. When they wake up, they look for it. When they go somewhere, they look for it. So they're building a identity and world based on their internalizations. So so I said, well, we need to undo this. First of all, you cannot run from the bad because the bad's inside you. So you got to dismantle it, update it, and change it. And then we need to practice the other. Because when people will have bad experiences, they remember it, they replay it, they tell their friends, they lay in bed and remember it and recall it and ask really dumb questions like, how bad will it get next time? How, am I going to die? Is it my fault? Blah, blah, blah. So we compound it. So we dismantle that and we do the happy journal. And that the happy journal is basically, or the manifestation journal, really. And we do the exact same thing we used to do with the bad stuff. Something good happened, you notice it, you identify it, you replay it, you rehearse it. Collect them. Then your life will reflect whichever one you feed the most.
Yeah.
So this is the power of neuroplasticity and cleaning up your head.
Right. Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about Ronnie?
This is how it works. I mean, we had Ronnie who came to see me, and I think it's 2017. She went to one of my students. She had 10 years of suffering, 10 years of pain, chronic pain. And before she left to go to Ireland to get her sessions, she wrote her suicide note. If this doesn't work, I'm dead. I'm going to give up. And like I said, 10 years of pain. So she had a $90,000 implant attached to her spine, a battery is in her butt cheek, and to monitor so she can even get up and walk a little bit. Now, she left in a wheelchair. She was there for 5 days. And by the 5th day, she has to turn her little thing on to move, right? By the 3rd day, she can now walk. By the 5th day, she forgot to turn her stimulator on. Now she's walking all the way downstairs. All right, so then she comes to Greece. I'm doing a seminar there in Greece. She volunteers, and we're dealing with really big emotional traumas. Now Ronnie is a good kid. She wants to have fun. She's a single child. And her mom works all the time. Dad all works all the time. She don't want to work. She want to sing. She want to dance. She want to have fun. But it's violating the family tradition, right? And so here it is. We're working on some of her emotional stuff in class, and then also she booked session. We're working on big stuff, relationships, issues with dad, mom, everything else in between, right? And by Friday, because usually on Friday we go dancing, or we don't go dancing, we go to a meal together and celebrate. And she's out there dancing on the dance floor. Now,
I love it.
less than 21 days, she's in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what happened? Neurologically, we changed the pains and the guilt of not wanting to be like mom and dad. You're not supposed to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And this all was accumulated over time. Relationship was a taboo. Yeah. And I remember working on her dealing with relationships because, again, they were a taboo because her references of relationships were not good. And she didn't want that because of her exposure. And we cleaned up what she had, and now she's married. And for this is 2026, right? I believe at the end of 2025, so that's 17, almost 9 years, her pain is slowly coming back. She's not in a wheelchair. She can still walk, but slowly coming back. And so she booked session with me. She booked 5 sessions with me. And we started addressing what she wasn't addressing. Because again, what I teach is a skill for life. You use it all the time to monitor and to be in control of the self. If you don't do it, you'll use what usually didn't work. We started addressing some really big stuff, some emotional traumas, which she didn't go away. Now, there are people out there who use something, they call it my stuff, but they're not doing my stuff. Talking about your problems doesn't change it. You got to neurologically change the memories. And I started changing the memories. And guess what? Now the pain's gone. Now here's a bizarre thing. I guess she said her husband and I were talking, and he's saying, slow down, because she's walking too fast. And she said, what do you mean slow down? Just walking normal. I said, no, you're not. And he said, well, what do you mean? How did I walk before? He was walking like she was walking in the past, and he was slow. I said, but see, the brain has changed so much. Her model of the world has shifted. And she said, I can't believe I was walking that, because what I'm doing now is normal, which is he had to keep up. You know, he's a big guy. She's a little old, probably a 5'2" girl, you know. But again, it's because neurologically, when you update memories, you change the traumas, you change the hurts. And again, like I say, what I teach is a daily process. Something bothers me, I own it, I tap on it, and I address it.
Yes. Yeah.
Except I didn't do that in the airport, you know. You know why?
Well, you did later on.
I did later on, but at the airport, I chose to run. I ran. I chose. It's not like somebody traumatized me, but my body felt it, and it sent messages to the brain. The brain says, "Okay, I'll remember that for you later."
Yeah, that's right.
And it did.
And it did. Yes, it reminded you. But if anyone wants to listen to that episode, Ronnie was on the podcast, so she is on one of the episodes. We can also put that in the show notes.
Yeah, she's done amazing work, and and she's not the only one. There's a lot of people who have transformed and their lives have changed because of my work and what I teach. So if you're suffering and you're really tired of chasing rainbows and rabbits, you're tired of spending money on this therapy, that therapy, or you're tired of just suffering, there is a better way. There really is. And learning how to be the master of your own life, learning how to take control of yourself. If you're tired of blaming everybody, if you're tired of that, because, the world is so big, you can't control everything. It's so much. How about controlling what's between your ears, changing and adjusting what's inside of theirs? And it's time. It really is time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so easy to look outside and say, oh, that person, them. But this is where your system, it teaches. It's not just the system of, learning how the mechanics of the brain. There's also the piece where learning the upper model of the world, the lower the model of the world, the understanding of what forgiveness is, like really, it's just truth, learning truth.
The real truth, the real deal.
Yes, the real deal. Yes. Yeah. So if someone was stuck and they would tried everything, what is step one?
Well, step one is, I would say, expose yourself to my information. Watch my videos. Listen to what people say. I remember Linda, she said she didn't trust me because she trusted so many other people with any of the therapies. None of it worked. And she was afraid to trust me because it sounded too good to be true. But it wasn't too good to be true. It actually was true.
Yeah.
She did find her freedom. She did find the control. She did change things. And she had hidden memories, had no idea it was there. No idea. But she found them and she cleaned them up.
Yeah.
So it's clean up on aisle me, I say. It's clean up on aisle you,
Right. Yeah. So leave our audience with one thing to remember.
If you one thing I would say this, guys, you're not broken. Your brain is just recycling experiences to keep you alive, but in reality, it's keeping you stuck in the old system of the past. You can update those and set yourself free. You're not broken. You're an amazing manifester, and discover how you can manifest even better than what you've ever had before. You can have a life beyond what you ever thought. I lived that life, and it's time for you to join something that works. And here's the cool thing is, you don't have to believe it for it to work. You just try it. It will work. So just come join us. You can change yourself. Master Training. We have a free course that will really show you, and you'll get immediate results. You'll start seeing it does work. So learn to be the master of your own mind and your own world and have something better.
Yeah, that's right. All right. So thank you so much for tuning in. We have resources and sessions will be linked in the show notes if you want support beyond this conversation. And subscribe, stay connected, and write your questions in the comment section so that we can answer them right here on this podcast.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Peace.
Peace.
She's an interesting character.
Okay. Well, she's just being herself. She's just being like authentic.
But hold on.
Okay, I know what you're gonna say.
Hold on.
Okay.
You're always your authentic self.
That's true. Yeah.
Even when you're pissed off, crying, and want to kill somebody, that's your authentic self.
Shit. Okay. All right. Okay. That's so true. Yeah.
It's not fake.
You're right.
Well, really, if you really think about it, the truth
That's
is,
so interesting.
why is that?
Oh man, it's because when I think of authentic self, I think of like Abraham Hicks, like the scale of consciousness. That's what I like. Shame is on the bottom, and authenticity, like enlightenment, is at the top, which is authenticity. That's the highest vibration that you can be at. Yes. Okay.
No, that's all a bunch of horseshit, isn't it?
Well,
I mean,
anyway.
granted, it'd be nice if you were happy, but happiness is a result of letting go of everything that doesn't. It's not
Right.
creating a fakeness, and that's what a lot of even religions do. That even a lot of these, they create a fake persona.
Mm-hmm.
A fake persona, even though it's seemingly real, but is not 100% congruent. The true self is when the shit hits the fan, you show up. Whatever you show up as, that's your true self.
Right. Well,
And your real deep true self is you're a manifesting creator and producer.
that's
So
a
when you're
really great way to actually look at it.
yeah.
Oh,
So when you're pissed off, your authentic self is speaking very loud.
yeah. He's being very expressive. Okay. But the true self is that I'm a creator,
Well, let's say the self is created by experiences. Your true essence is you're a manifestor, creator, and producer. Whatever is laid on top of it, you'll produce.
Yeah.
You'll create a self out of that, what's laid on top. Your identity and value is created by how they treated you and what you took from it.
Right. But then how do you like go down to the bare bones of I'm a manifestor, I'm a creator?
Mhm.
Because I could say I'm light, I'm an earth angel.
And you're stupid. You give everything away. You let people run over top of you. Those are all.
Oh my
they're
God.
also the same thing.
Ooh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good way to look at it.
Yeah. Okay. You have, if you think, and now I think from neutrality.
Mm-hmm.
No one's broken. What you
Yeah.
produce is a production from internal representations, bad, good, or ugly. So if you stay neutral, there's no judgment.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what the brain is. It's neutral. It just produces what goes in.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's something that I do. I notice if I have a judgment and then I'll look at it.
Well, you have to evaluate what's being violated from my proofs inside me.
Mm-hmm. Right. Ooh, that's a good episode, actually.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, that would be a very good episode.
Remember, remember, remember.